It's extras and epilogues. Open the theater. Lights, cameras, action. Movies and reviews, things you might not have known. What happens when the credits roll? Let's get on with the show.
A deformed bell ringer must assert his dominance, his independence from a vicious government minister in order to help his friend, a Romani dancer, because gypsy is a slur. Not in my world. It's a description.
Yes, in your world. This is our world.
My name is Dr. Young, and thanks to the great people at the Pete Hegseth Department, we bring you extras and epilogues. We continue on with Animation April. Last week we had two very good films, and The Brave Little Toaster, and Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. And tonight we're going to keep the ball rolling with France's favorite Disney film, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, who I thought was voiced by someone I knew, and that the girl was voiced by Salma Hayek. I was right on none of this. So, Jabba Dinga. Here we go. The theater is open once again. This is Extras and Epilogues of the Podzilla 1985 Network. I'm in a mood. Let me introduce the rest of the cast really quick. First up is my good friend who mocks me at every turn, but protects me like he was God himself. It's Double H.
Shit, it appears that we've crowned the wrong fool.
Our fool's a doctor now.
My favorite line in the whole movie, by the way. That's a great exchange between the two of them.
I love going to churches to see all the pictures of the doctors. Really reminds me.
God.
Lindsay's
Zach has already asked you if it was Thursday.
Look, okay, hold on. Lindsay, go ahead real quick, and then I got to make a comment.
Take it from an old spectator. Life's not a spectator sport.
Listen to this. So this girl, we go out today, about 2 hours, not hour and a half, and we go to this beautiful.
She's not in there.
What's happening behind me?
Cat is riding outside your door.
We go.
This live, pal.
It's live. We go to this lovely overlook. It's up at Trail of Tears. Beautiful area. I love going up here. It clears your mind. And we're looking out over the water and the foliage. And
our little walking library.
Can't escape her. And you know what we talked about? Me and this girl used to see each other. You know what we talked about for an hour plus? Donald Trump. And at some point, while she's ranting to me about it, and to be fair, she's feel free to rant, and I'm very happy that she has seen the light. It was a great conversation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing the conversation. I had this realization that this is my life now, right? Like all I do is stream and talk about Donald Trump, and then even when I go out and have coffee with friends or I go to a beautiful overlook, I talk about Donald Trump. And I'm like, God damn, can this old bastard just die so I no longer have to talk about his old bitch ass? Because I miss the days when we would talk about stupid, silly things on After Dark. And at this point, it's just become the fucking Trumpanini show. And I know we can stop it.
Do you? I mean, okay.
No, I don't.
Those days were exclusively, I was going to say, when Joe Biden was president, because this show started and literally within a year, Donald Trump was president.
In fact,
within a year.
It wasn't long after we started the show that he did the escalator thing where he made his big proclamation. Yeah, so no, this show has existed entirely within the realm of Donald Trump being a fucking president, or at least what everyone wants to talk about. So when he dies, and God willing, it'll be in a long time surrounded by friends and family. I don't know what the show will do. We will not have an identity at that point. We will rebrand and become a hardcore sports channel so fast you won't even notice. Cody's coming back. Him and Jesse are going to talk about NFL Sundays every Sunday.
No, we have to do the exact same thing that Jon Stewart said about this shit a long time ago. Was I bet you guys are upset when you get a normal. No, man, no, because then finally we get to do whatever the hell we want, and also be critical of that person. because they're never going to be perfect. We're going to be critical of that person too.
Dweezy said, "Beautiful place, the trail where we led Native Americans on forced death marches. God, white people. Look, tonight's movie is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's our third animated film. It's a Disney movie. I've never watched it, and
I didn't either.
Well, you have now.
Well, yeah, else I wouldn't be on the fucking show." Actually, that's a lie. I would have just lied because I've done that before and been like, "Oh,
I know,
good movie." I don't even know what Arizona has to do with it. To be honest,
You watched it. I watched it with you.
I did, and I liked it. I feel that he just stressed that every time. We're doing Hunchback. First week, like I said, we did Brave Little Toaster, then we did Fern Gully, and I like both of those films. I like Fern Gully a lot. I gave it 2 thumbs up. I really love that movie. So let's see where this one lands. Let's get to the stats. Released June 21st, 1996, which was the year Dr. Sheds was dreamt up in the mind of an embryo. What else happened in 1996? I was 14, so I was definitely in love with Sandra Bullock. I was in love with Sunny from WWE. I was in love with Princess Zelda, obviously.
The Summer Olympics
I didn't care about
were
that.
in Georgia.
You and I had not started talking yet, but we're about 2 years away from when
No.
you and I started talking. It's getting close.
Yep.
Yeah. So this was the calm before the storm that would have become the Shannon Lindsay friendship, then rivalry, then romance, then friendship, then rivalry. We're going in a cycle here.
Oh shit! 1996 is when the Spice Girls got together. I was also looking to just see like what happened in 1996, so that's pretty good.
I like the Spice
That's good. I should say that's when their first album came out.
I saw Phantom of the Opera for the first time.
It was released.
Oh God! Okay, I still had parents. We playing cards. Queenie.
Hey, Independence Day came out that year. Who's your favorite Spice Girl? Go.
Scary
me.
Spice. It always has been.
I didn't like the Spice
Really?
Girls.
Yeah, Scary
Okay, so I guess
Spice.
the dudes are gonna pick.
Well, hold on. I was gonna say Scary Spice or I never cared for Posh. It was the one everyone liked.
Nobody did. Nobody did. Ginger.
Ginger. It was Ginger or
Yeah, Ginger was the one I liked. when I was
Ginger had the
younger.
best look.
Sporty was the
Scary
best singer, and still is, to be fair, for the record.
But Mel B is the funniest because she went on Eric Andre
Correct.
and it was very,
Mel B
very
and
funny.
C were the only ones that ended up being like any worth too much after the fact.
Yeah,
and
Victoria.
that's the two of them.
Victoria Beckham's claim to fame after that was she became Beckham. She bent it like Beckham.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. She was never a strong singer. She exclusively existed to round out that entire group. And Jerry Halliwell went on and did a bunch of solo stuff, and everyone was like, "This is fine."
But she was more of a model
Okay.
than a singer, really. You know, like
Yeah, she was the second weakest singer of all of them. Yeah.
I like the Spice Girls, but you know what I liked better about the Spice Girls was the culture it created and the other bands that sort of came after that. Kind of like when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and stuff like that, you started getting bands that were like
Yeah,
the
the
Spice
girl
Girls,
bands.
but, right? And I really love.
I liked Bewitched.
Oh my God, people lost their shit for Bewitched back in the day. Like Bewitched and
To me, nothing ever mattered after them. Everybody else was just like a cheap imitation. Like
Well,
I never once thought any of those were all that great.
this isn't a girl band specifically. Although I do want to mention All Saints because they sang a song that I absolutely loved.
Never ever.
Never ever.
Yeah.
And every time I tell people that, they
It
go,
was on the first. Now that's what I call music.
Yep, absolutely. And I tell people about that song, and they go, I don't know what that is. And then I sing 3 seconds of it, and they go,
There you
oh,
go.
yeah.
There you go.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Lindsay turned me on this. Yeah, she did. Lindsay turned me on to a band. This isn't a all girl band, but it kind of came from that time period, and it is a female singer. And every time I hear their music, I think to myself, why were they not bigger than they were? I can't remember their names now. So Lindsay, help.
Letters to Cleo.
Letters to Cleo. They
Wait, really? I wouldn't lump them in with the same thing. They
no,
were
that's what I'm saying.
kind
I
of
was saying it's just a girl singer, so I was using any stretch I could to get there.
Yeah, I think
but
they broke up.
But I really like them. They reunited later. I don't think they put any new music out, but they kind of did the hits and they did publicity. You know, they're all still friends, which is great because not a lot of bands get that.
Oh yeah, that's why they weren't a big deal. They broke up in 2000.
God, there's so many bands.
So it didn't take long.
Did they even put out more than one album, Lindsay?
There were a few.
They put out 6.
We can't
3 full-length albums and 3 EPs.
Jesus. Yeah. Hey, remember that one girl, Vitamin C?
Uh-huh.
No. I mean, yes, but no.
All right, we can't talk
she
about
had the graduation song, and that's all anybody cared about.
God. That was that, and she was in Dracula 2000. And I remember going, who the fuck is this?
Oh, I didn't.
And they're like, that's
I just remember Vacation because of Pokemon the movie and Pikachu's Vacation.
Did he earn that vacation? What's his job?
He's a demon.
Yeah, what was he taking a vacation from?
What
reality?
Yeah, like, isn't his vacation every time he goes in his little plush ball? Is it like a mansion in there?
He refuses.
He doesn't go in it.
Oh, excuse me,
he
Pikachu.
Won't do it.
All right, let's move on.
He won't. He simply refuses.
Directed by Gary. We're still reviewing a movie.
Yes.
Directed by Gary Truesdale.
Directed by Gary Truesdale.
And Kirk Wise, who also did Beauty and the Beast and Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which I have never seen Atlantis. I've heard it's good.
Ooh, Atlantis is also a very underrated film. It's so good.
That's what I gathered.
Written by my old pal Tab Murphy, who also did Tarzan.
What a name, man.
Yes, Tab Murphy is a great name.
Tab Murphy.
Tab.
I think I worked construction with Tab back in '87. He was a good dude. He brought donuts to the site every day.
Every day.
Right?
Where'd he get that money?
What a name!
Irene Mecci. That's not as cool.
I'm guessing it's probably Mecci.
Mecci.
It could be Mecci.
Well,
I don't know.
I think Mecci.
Well, the only reason I say etchy is because isn't the Japanese way of saying etchy, ECCHI? It's for H.
It's got 2 eyes.
Etchy. Oh, I wouldn't know. I didn't read that stuff. And then Jonathan Roberts, who also did The Lion King, Bob Sue, I dropped my pen, Zudiker, and Nani White.
Yeah.
Who also did Newsies and Anastasia. Did anyone actually work on this film, or are these all made up names?
No, these are real people.
This is a Dr. Shit.
Believe it or not.
Did you say
Jonathan Roberts was
Woo?
pretty tame, right? That's an old one. Wobbledy Woo.
You're the one that talked about the gibberish, too. You almost got me in trouble for that. Starring.
Importantly, that last one, hang on, they did Anastasia, which we're doing tomorrow. So you'll hear those names again.
Oh, another one. That one's got Meg Ryan, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Starring Tom Hulce. Help out.
I assume it's Hulse. I never looked into it. Hulse or Hulsey.
You know who he played?
He's the Hunchback.
Yeah, but you know he played before
different,
this. Yeah,
different film.
I really thought that's what you meant. I was
no.
Yeah, he's Hunchback.
He played Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in Amadeus. That's the same guy. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
Which is
I've never seen that either. I've seen all the scenes, the big
really?
ones, but
the Guy Like You song, when they put the wig on Quasi, it's because they were mimicking
referencing
Mozart's
that
wig also.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's my least favorite song in this, I gotta be honest. It feels out of place. It
Steven
feels very
Schwartz
we gotta get
an
an Aladdin song in there, and they did. And they sure did.
Demi Moore.
Yeah, Steven Schwartz hated that film, hated that song in the film, and he was very happy when they removed it from the stage play.
Demi Moore.
Oh, they did do a stage play of this. I'm sorry, I know I'm interrupting you, but I literally this was going to come up later. I said numerous times while we were watching this should have been a stage show. Like of all the big Disney stage shows, this should have been one. I didn't know they did one. Really?
They had a backlot show in one of the parks shortly after it came out, and it was on a Disney Cruise Line a few years back as well.
Oh, okay. So they didn't do like a Broadway staging or
it's
like
not
an
actual Broadway. Company. It's not a full Broadway one, but it does have a stage production.
And it's 18 plus only. Trust me.
No.
Trust me. Demi Moore is in this, her alone, and her character of Esmeralda. Let's be honest.
She's very good in this.
I missed out on this film. Because to me, I was like, well, Aladdin is definitely the sexiest sex in the Disney sex world. Then I saw Esmeralda, and I thought, good Lord, they couldn't have tried harder. There was something about 90s cartoons where if you were parched, you would be living in the Sahara by the end of the film.
At least in this one, it's in service of the plot. And really, okay, to be fair, when it happens in Aladdin, it's in service of the plot. She's trying to seduce Jafar to distract him. That's the main thing they ever do with that.
Well, not just that, but just the look in general. Like, it's a very sultry look. It's definitely sultrier than they do in the
for
past,
sure,
yeah.
But in this movie, it's like almost entirely a huge part of the plot.
100%.
Like that's the whole thing is that's why Frollo wants her and all that.
Now,
so.
is it offensive that they got Demi Moore to voice her?
No, because they wanted a deeper voice.
Well, that's not what I mean. Hunter knows exactly what I meant. That he
automatically, modern day, you would not cast a white actress to play that role.
Right.
Although off the top of my head, I don't know who. So I looked into this earlier because I legitimately didn't know. We were talking about how often they use the word gypsy in this, and it's like, hey, we don't do that anymore. They're the Romani people, and I was like, okay, where are the Romani people from? So basically, they're from what I gathered, around modern day Pakistan. Like they're kind of roughly in the South Asian area of that continent. So they don't, they're literally nomadic people. So at this point, they don't have like a specific, you can't say, oh, you cast somebody from this area because that's where they're from, unless you can find somebody who literally was of that descent. And off the top of my head, I don't know of any Romani actors. So I assume at that point you're
probably not 1996.
I was going to say, yeah, I don't think so. At the end of the day, let's get real. Disney does we're doing around the world for Animation April anyway. Disney did that themselves, right? Little Mermaid is from Scandinavia, Sweden, somewhere in there.
I thought she was from under
it's
the
around
sea.
Denmark. But yeah, that general vicinity.
Right, in that area in kind of northeastern England. Aladdin obviously is Far Eastern, Middle Eastern. Mulan. They were kind of doing a around the world thing anyway, and they didn't always cast from those parts of the world. And Mulan, they did a pretty good job, or at least with Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Donny Osmond sang in it.
Well, and that's the other thing, is that you're going to get a voice actor to do the voices, but it's not always somebody who can sing. So then you got to have a singer, and they're not always going to. The important thing at that point is, can the singer match the voice? Like for years as a kid, I didn't know that Scott Winger wasn't singing as Aladdin. I had no idea.
Yep.
Couldn't tell the difference.
Or Danny Elfman and Chris Sarandon in Nightmare Before Christmas. I always thought it was the same guy, but no.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I didn't know that when I was younger, but when we watched it, I wouldn't have known.
I'm not going to give it too much static, because I think it's one thing to have a physical role where you see somebody and you cast an actor that's not the same race, but to me it is a little bit different. One, it was 1995 or 1996, and two, it is a voice acting role. It's you don't see, unless you need a specific accent, that I could see.
And I was going to say, and I'll tell you what would have been worse is if they'd had to be more
try to affect
some kind of accent.
The dialect.
That would have been significantly worse. Yeah.
So she just does Demi Moore, and she's fine. I like Demi Moore. I think she's a great actress. She was also, by the way, Hunter, if I had a dime for every
this is my favorite trivia of the whole month. Please read it word for word.
If I had a dime for every time Demi Moore played an exotic dancer who catches the eye of and ultimately brings down a man in a position of power in a 1996 film, well, I'd have 2 dimes, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. What was the other one? Striptease.
In the same year. It's just so weird, the parallels, that she does the same kind of role roughly in the same year, but in 2 drastically different movies.
Burt Reynolds was in the other one, that's all I'll say.
That is true.
You want a less pleasant bit of trivia on her?
No.
Did she call me Your Honor?
She did.
No.
You're the judge.
No.
Sure.
Apparently, she was banned from bringing in prawn and mayonnaise sandwiches into the studio because she wouldn't refrigerate them.
You're gonna have to.
Is less pleasant.
You're gonna have to back about 13
also,
feet the fuck up. What kind of sandwiches?
Prawn and mayonnaise.
What kind of
basically stinky sandwiches?
What kind of rich white bitch do you have to be to bring in your prawn and mayonnaise sandwiches?
Slow down, because I get where you're going. But prawns are basically just mud crabs. Like, ain't nothing rich about eating prawns.
No.
And then mayo? You think rich people are eating mayo?
I was checking it more to her privilege of, I can do this.
Be done.
I can bring prawn and mayonnaise up here and eat it like it's a goddamn thing to do. Demi Moore was
And
also in
she
A
and
Decent
Kevin
Proposal.
Kline did not have to audition for the roles; they were just offered to them.
Yes, Kevin Kline.
I can
What are you
see
going to do? Say, hey, it's either
Kevin Kline especially.
It's either you or the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond, and not the one you're
Kevin
thinking.
Kline was. I'm not. Well, not Raymond.
No.
Brad Garrett.
Hello, Raymond.
Kevin Kline was also he was also in Road to El Dorado last year, right? If I remember correctly, he's one of the two guys in Road to El Dorado.
Coolio.
That's fine.
And
Yeah.
And that's all. That's all I heard this whole movie too. As he talked, like I knew he did this role first, but I just heard Tulio the entire time.
and of course he's Artemis Gordon in
Right.
Wild West, which
Lindsay, help me out. Is he Gilderoy Lockhart, or am I remembering incorrectly? Harry Potter?
don't
Is he?
he's not.
I don't
nuts.
know.
I can almost guarantee Kevin Kline
I'm not
is
the
in there
person to
for-
ask on Potter trivia.
I
I'm
really thought
sorry.
he was.
I mean,
No, that's Kenneth Branagh. That's where I'm getting mixed up. It's Kenneth Branagh. Never mind.
Kenneth
That's who it
Branagh,
was.
who was also in The Road to El Dorado.
And was also in Wild Wild West.
Oh my God.
There you go. As he likes to beat his feet on the Mississippi mud.
He's all Kevin Kline is also one of the luckiest son of a bitches that ever existed. You know who his wife is?
Isn't that Selma Hayek, isn't it?
Phoebe Cates from
Phoebe
Gremlins.
Cates. I was going to say, you were just talking about somebody. the other day,
Phoebe
I couldn't remember.
fucking
Yeah, Phoebe
Cates.
Yep.
Kevin Kline, you. You. Anyway. There's other people too. Shit. Jason Alexander's in this movie. I recognize his voice immediately.
It was so funny. I'm not always great at picking people out when it comes to like voices or faces or whatever. So Sarah wasn't going to watch this with me, and then she's like, "I'm going to watch this with you." So the first time he spoke, she goes, "You know that is right." And I paused and I went, "I've been watching Seinfeld for over a third, like 3/4 of my life. Do you really think the moment Jason Alexander spoke that I didn't know who he was immediately?"
Hunter looked at the TV and he said, I've had about enough of you trying to trick me with your voices.
He also hosted the making of special when this film was getting ready to come out.
Oh, that's fun.
He's also
I
very
fucking
good at
love
this.
Jason Alexander, man.
Yeah,
he's
he's very
just
good.
so good in general. I did tell her also I recognize his voice without even needing to see his face because, again, he had an animated show on USA called Duckman.
Duckman.
And it was very good.
Yep.
The guy that plays I say a lot when I'm the guy that plays
Okay.
the other statue,
Victor?
Victor. I thought that was Kevin Kline at first, and I don't remember the guy's name, but I looked him up and I told Lindsay this is one of my favorite actors from Murphy Brown. He played Jim, the kind of older, serious newscaster, the Dan
Yes.
Rather type, and I loved him in that role. He's very good.
Charles Kempro.
Yeah. So when I heard that was him, I was very excited about that. And
Yeah,
there's some other people in there too. Jim Cummings obviously is in it.
of course. Frank Welker.
Frank Welker, yeah, the
He's the
usual
little
suspects.
birdie.
And the
Yep.
guy,
He's just a little.
oh, he
birdie.
just tweets away, doesn't he? And then the guy that plays the main bad guy, he's also very good.
Tony J.
Tony J. Holy
Tony
shit.
Tony
what a
J
voice on
stated
Tony
that this
J.
role was his bid for immortality.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite Disney villain roles I've seen. To me, it's not as
Yeah.
catchy as Dr. Facilier in Princess and the Frog, which is my favorite. But as a villain, he's scarier. And,
Because they purposely wanted to get away from the evil is cool. Like, they wanted
Yeah, he was
another,
evil.
evil, scary, rotten
Yeah.
evil.
yeah, he was.
And he doesn't look cool.
No.
Like he's not somebody who you look
No.
at. Like Jafar has a cool fucking
Yeah.
look, right?
Facilier with the
I'm
voodoo look.
gonna do this. Right. I'm gonna do this multiple times. I think, and it's a little bit of a criticism, though. There's not much they could do about it because of the way the stories are made. This movie has so much in common with Aladdin to me, and I honestly think that's kind of what hurts it for people, why people maybe don't remember it as strongly, because Aladdin was just such a fucking tour de force, and then 4 years later you make this movie and go, that's got a lot of parallels, man. It's got the uprising of the common people and the villain who's using the crown against everybody, that kind of thing, and those two characters, Frollo and Jafar, are very similar. The difference is Jafar is both a little goofier, so he's funnier, like you enjoy that a little more, especially with him paired with Iago. And he looks cooler. Like Jafar just has a cool fucking look. Whereas Frollo, nobody wants to be Frollo.
No,
Nobody wants to be called Frollo when it's all said and done. Who wants to be that guy? He sucks.
but he's an effective villain. He's someone that I think
Yes.
you,
Because Andre Dija animated Jafar, and he wanted to animate Esmeralda, but ended up being given to someone else. So he's not even a part of this film. He went on to
Well,
animate Hercules while this
don't-
was going on. But the woman who did was the main animator for Frollo absolutely loves the character as
And-
far as that goes.
Yeah.
She's like, he's so smarmy and just gross, and she loves him.
He thinks he's right. That's
Yes,
the
yeah.
best
That's kind
villain.
of
The
villains,
best villain
yeah.
is the one who believes that he is right and that everyone else is against him.
This is wrong.
and whoever animated Esmeralda in the film did a fine job. You did a
Yes,
great
no,
job.
they did very well.
Yeah, very sexy, very sexual. All right, runtime of 91
Okay,
minutes.
well, that's not what we were saying.
Well, budget versus box office, $70 million budget versus a $325 million box office. You could say, as we used to say back in the old, around the corner, that made some money. Made a little bit of money.
That's it. Yeah, made some cash there, and especially in the '90s. I mean, I know now, like if you don't make $500 million, it feels like it's not a big deal. This is
Especially for
1996.
It was a
Yeah,
simple time.
325
I
million
saw-
return in the '70s, not bad.
I was reading that this was the first movie to cost $100 million, so I'm wondering if they didn't add in the expenses for going to France, because they sent most of the artists and animators over there for a time to make sure they were getting details on the church correct and to get inspiration and that sort of stuff. So I don't know if maybe that didn't get added into the actual like film budget, or if someone else's numbers
So-
were just off from what I was looking at.
For the record, I always pull this stuff from Wikipedia unless I hear it otherwise. The Wikipedia source for that is from the LA Times, from an
Okay.
article they did called Stalking the King of Animation. And it was archived in June 2021. So they had it updated from then. It says
Okay.
it was 70 million. If they give me a range, I always go with the highest number.
That's what I heard.
It is entirely possible that, yeah, number one, where you're talking about that came from a totally different budget, that wasn't actually budgeted into the film. Because I think there's a lot of rules about what you can credit in terms of what the movie actually cost and what
cost.
they can, put onto their ledger at the end of the year. So that might have been a totally separate thing. But yeah, they quoted it as 70, and then 325 was the return.
Cool.
She said "cool." This
Cool.
someone mentioned something earlier. I think it was about flying out to or going out to France and studying this to get the architecture right and all that good stuff. That's one thing
Yes.
I'll say now before I have no recollection of the things that I say, and that is that the architecture in this film. I mean, a lot of this movie looks like a Dark Souls level. Like it looks like Bloodborne. This
Like Notre Dame is
Medieval.
almost a character of itself in this
Yes.
film because it's the main background setting. So they wanted to make sure that they got the look of it accurate and to just get inspiration from the Gothic architecture in general.
Right.
This is the first time that a Disney film an animated Disney film has ever made me go, wow. Like, not that they're not
this
good.
movie is gorgeous.
But yeah, this movie genuinely, like, some of those shots, the sweeping shots, when you see the city, when you see the, cathedral and all that stuff, it's just incredible. Like, it's very, very, very good. Not to say that the movie's great. We'll see what happens, but, like, the visuals are top notch. Critical reception. 80% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a 7.5 out of 10. Metacritic score of 74 out of 100, which is generally favorable. Cinema score of A on an A to F scale. And 4 out of 4 stars from Roger Ebert, who said, the best Disney animated feature since Beauty and the Beast, which I think came out the year before. A whirling, uplifting, thrilling story with a heart-touching message that emerges from the comedy and song. Well, of course he'd say that. He's an uggo like Quasimodo.
Oh
No, I kid. I agree with I agree with a lot of what he said there. Well, let's talk about it. What is the movie about?
You had 3 Disney films between Beauty and the Beast and
I was looking.
you had-
Aladdin is one
you
of
had
them, right?
Aladdin,
So that's
Lion King, and
92.
Pocahontas.
So he put this over Lion King too. Wow.
I don't think many people would agree with him, and not many people are going to say that The Lion King isn't as good as this film, but
And Lion King was a full blown
huge.
tour de force.
yeah, that thing smashed records. Like Quasimodo
But I mean,
smashed
in
his
fairness, Lion King story is good, but I kind of agree with him. I guess to be fair, Disney also, fair in the other direction, Disney's also got a little bit of an in here. This is an existing story. I mean, the Lion King was too. They totally ripped it off. But this was a more well-known story. Right. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Victor Hugo.
In fact, there are so many. I'd never seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but as we were talking about it, and I was talking about it with friends, I would say things like, "Oh, did this happen?" And they would go, "Yeah." "Oh, and this happened too, right?" And then eventually I thought maybe I have seen this film before, but I guess I just know the story of the Hunchback and you know Sanctuary, and I was like, doesn't he die at the end?
In the original.
In the novel, yes.
Yeah.
They
got part of the Disney thing is it has to have a happy ending. Quasi's not allowed to die. Esmeralda's not allowed to die.
And it has to have talking side characters that have to be cute. Or
I answered part of your question Disney. You had to me last night.
Okay.
So you were questioning if the gargoyles are just in his head or not.
No.
It's open to interpretation as far as the audio commentary on the DVD goes, as they originally were making them to be like 3 different parts of his personality. But yes, as you get closer to the end and they start interacting with other
Hunter,
things,
hear me out.
Yeah, it can't be.
Hear me out. So when we were watching the film, again, never seen it before, but as we got through the film, I asked her, I was like, so are they actually alive or are they in his head? Because they always turn to statue as soon as someone walks in. And I get it, it's the Toy Story thing. You have to act like that when people are around. But it also just seems, that they're not real living creatures because they don't even have feet. Like, they're literally statues. They're broken at the bottom, unlike, quote unquote, real gargoyles. But once you get towards the end and they're throwing things at people and shooting stuff at them, I told her, I was like, I think it's pretty obvious they're like real. I don't buy that argument.
I know it's
anymore.
also a minor tip of the hat, but they interact with the goat.
She's
Jason Alexander. Hugo is all over the goat.
But goats.
Oh my god! It just fucking dawned on me that 2 of the gargoyles are named Victor and Hugo.
Victor and Hugo.
How did I not catch that?
Yeah.
It literally just dawned on me that's.
Yep. And they almost named Laverne Marie for his middle name, but they ended up naming her after one of the Andrews sisters, the singing trio from like 1950s or whatever.
Yeah, Dunice. And
so what's the film about? It's a classic love story. Boy is a grotesque monster, stares at girl stares at him, and it looks like there could be romantic feelings until an actual attractive person shows up, and she immediately goes, fuck that shit. And also she is Romani and they're trying to hunt her. That's the basics of it. There was a part in this film where Phoebus, was that his name?
Yes.
Feeble. Doofus. Phoebus.
Yes. When Phoebus and Esmeralda are just sitting there making out while Quasimodo is watching and crying, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Stop kissing. This is killing him.
I didn't know he was there. I didn't know he was there.
But it was just like
behind a pillar.
No, he was. I'll have to go back and check it. I'm pretty sure he was staring at him.
Well, he leans out from behind it and sees that it's happening. But
I'm pretty sure the guy kissing her looks at him and goes, "Well, he's, Anyway,
I mean, in fairness, early on that is how it is, and then pretty quickly he realizes, no, that would be a dick thing for me to do.
Yeah, he turns out to be a good dude.
With her. Also, she never once expresses that she's in love with him. She's kind to him. She's nice to him the way that she is to everybody else. And honestly, I think that's part of the theming is that, early on, he takes that as like, oh, this is what love is. And then he figures out over time that that's not what that is. And I can't expect somebody to be in love with me because they're the first person to be nice to me.
But you would also, I think, agree that if you look at the cover, even the cover I've got here of her and him on there, and you didn't know anything about this film, and you knew it was a Disney film from the 90s, you wouldn't be too foolish to say, oh, I bet they fall in love because she overlooks his hideousness. No. Because they don't show the other guy. Once the other guy showed up, I went, okay, I think I know where this is going. But I think you could be misled into thinking, oh, well, they're clearly going to get together because beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's what's inside that counts.
I don't know if it's misleading. I mean, you could make that interpretation, but they're not like trying to lead you that direction. The movie sort of does briefly because of the way that he feels, but that's the thing. You're supposed to see the movie through his lens.
Yeah,
and it's only after
it was it was originally kind of written that way to an extent. But then it did lean more with her and Phoebus. Tab Murphy, he's the one who made a lot of the changes to it, making them more friendship wise. And then even as far as Esmeralda and Phoebus's relationship, they were supposed to have a love song, cut that out, and made it more so it wasn't necessarily pushing the message of, oh, this guy's better looking, I'm going to go with him. And that's why they sort of leaned into like her still kind of being disgusted that he was a soldier and them like fighting at first and her still being defiant and stuff that way. And they toned all of that like way down.
And I think it was the right way to go. Like at the end of the day, it subverts expectations in a solid way, in a good way. That the theme essentially that he learns at the end is again that like kindness does not. You shouldn't fall in love with the first person who was kind to you. Like it's nice that you feel that way, but that person doesn't feel that way. But that doesn't mean that they have to be out of your life. Like he needed to learn to be accepted by people before he could get into any of anything beyond that.
And that's what the sequel's for.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. I already looked it up.
I see that it says luckily this was not the ending used, but I really like that ending, the alternate ending. I mean,
okay. So it's not an alternate ending. That's how the novel ends, for the record. Okay. And I mean, we can just get into it if you want to, but I was going to save it for the end. That's how the novel ends, and it makes a lot of sense for the novel, but the novel's not written for kids.
No.
In the movie, and I mean, again, it even says at the end of that a lot of the diehards very much said, no, this was the right ending for this. It's a slightly lighter, significantly lighter.
Much lighter, it was a little dark. Yeah.
We gotta keep it light, but it doesn't take anything away from the overall theming. Like the important thing still is that he is accepted in the end, that he kind of becomes a hero. It accomplishes the same thing without killing the main character, basically.
Yeah, but I still like that.
You're an adult, man.
It's
of course you do.
It's this line specifically. The final shot was to be Esmeralda and Phoebus crying over their best friend as the people of Paris cheered for their success, unaware of Quasimodo's death. Like that's just beautiful. That just sounds beautiful. It's very sad, but it just sounds beautiful.
Yeah, but it's
maybe if it wasn't a Disney film, if it was a different studio, you might have got that.
Well, I'm pretty sure they've made, and this is why I think I know this otherwise, is because I'm pretty sure they've made other Hunchback films, right? Like. Wasn't there at least one famous one that was like kind of well known?
Oh, I thought you meant Disney.
No. Like
I don't know, man.
I remember there being a Hunchback movie, and that's why I was like, he dies.
There's been several, because originally they were going to name the gargoyles after the actors who had already played Quasimodo in the past.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it was made into a movie. Good Lord. Department. In 1911, 1923, 1939, 1956, 1976, 1982, 1986, this movie in 96, and apparently there was another one just called The Hunchback in 97.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah. Let me look that up real quick. While I'm doing that.
Salma Hayek, Mandy Patinkin.
That's why I said Salma Hayek.
Can I tell you a terrible story I found on his? It's so funny.
Sorry, real quick. The movie premiered March 6, 1997 on TNT, so it was made for TV.
Hey, man. They made one good movie, okay? They made one at
Broadway
least.
actor Mandy Patinkin auditioned for the role of Quasimodo, but his audition was a disaster. To this day, it's known at Disney as the Patinkin incident. According to directors Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise, Patinkin brought along his own arranger to do a new arrangement of the song Out There. This greatly angered composers Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz, who walked out of the audition. And his style of portraying Quasimodo also collided with the producer's demands. He later stated, I was just there and at the audition, and I said, I can't do this. And then later, Patinkin did the TV version.
Lord. Yeah, a year later.
Listen to this, though. The Hunchback from 1997 has Richard Harris as Frollo, Salma Hayek as Esmeralda, and Mandy Patinkin.
Maybe that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great cast. It doesn't sound like it's a very good movie.
No, but I always thought Salma Hayek played Esmeralda, and at least now I know why. So I'm not completely crazy. Yeah. Thank God. All right.
Yep.
This film, this version of The Hunchback that we're actually reviewing, Lindsay, you sound like you're a big old fan of it. You seem to know what you're talking about.
I really enjoy it. Now, like, I remember being kind of excited about it when it first came out, but I have really come to appreciate this film more over the years. Um, it just gets better with more time that goes by, the more I see it and things that way. Um, because I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like I didn't get to see this one in theaters, but I know for a fact that like Tarzan is the first one that I didn't go see in theaters. So I had to have gone and seen it at some point. But I remember all of the like media controversy behind it because like this was almost the next Disney film that got a PG rating because of everything. And definitely like the church kind of hammered it for the like sexuality.
Oh.
For the way it made the church look.
Children.
Yeah. There I remember all of that stuff going on. But at the same time, my history of it when it was first out is very clouded because I mostly just remember the Burger King toys and the making of special I was obsessed with because in the 90s Disney loving Lindsay was obsessed with any like behind the scenes making of content that was put out there and
She
every
still
time
is.
we had a
Why do you
had
refer
a
to her in
free
the past
Disney-
tense?
because now I have a love-hate relationship with Disney. Where back then I just loved it, period. But yeah, any time that there was like the free Disney weekend for the Disney Channel, there always ended up being a making of whichever film was coming out next. And I distinctly remember recording this one and all the cool different things they went over. They were going over how much of the different like CG elements they were using, and without the CG, they wouldn't have been able to truly do this film. They made a specific program for doing like the crowds in the backgrounds to have those big massive crowds, which is why if you pay attention, you see a bunch of them look the same and they're doing the same things because they basically make a little group and then clone it.
Well,
as far as that goes.
Well, who else do you see? Speaking of that, this is a fun little trivia. Who
Oh,
else do you
yeah,
see?
yeah,
No.
the Easter egg.
I saw her without noticing that was, or I mean, without knowing, I should say, without knowing going
I
into it.
forgot to point out the third one to you, Shannon, though. But in that scene of out there when it like pans down, so you see Belle walking through the streets of France. Off to her, she's walking to us. So off to her left, there's a guy in blue that's shaking out a rug. That's the magic carpet from Aladdin. It just does. You can't see all the details. And on the other side, in the front, there are two guys carrying a pig, and it's Pumbaa on like a steak to go be cooked. So
They killed Pumbaa?
Yeah.
They got him. They got my
they
boy.
got Scar's corpse in Hercules, so
Yeah, but he deserved
he's up
it.
on, Sarah was upstairs when I started watching this movie because again she wasn't gonna watch it, and I'm watching that song. And first of all, I need you to know how fucking upset I am that I didn't know about that song that out there. As a former music
it's
student who
so
would have sang
good.
the shit out
that
of that
song is so fun
it's
to belt.
perfectly in my range. Like as soon as it got going, I was like, I can do this. I can do this
Yeah.
song right now.
Such a
That I
good
could have had it
song.
as a jury song in college. It irritates the shit out of me. But as it was going, and I noticed Belle, I paused and I went, wait a minute. And I backed it up and I saw it. I go to the stairwell. I go, but and she goes, what? I go, do you know Belle was in this movie? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. Go back to it. You just hear her cracking up upstairs. She's like, that's a good catch.
Yep,
I knew this would happen to
adore the soundtrack of this film. Like, I have a very, very hard time on picking between The Bells of Notre Dame and Out There for which is my favorite because both
And that's
of those
right out of the
numbers
gate.
are just
That's one and two.
They're just amazing numbers.
Yeah, Feast of Fools is very
I'm not
good too.
100%
Or
sure,
Festival
but
of Fools.
I think they used the London City Orchestra for the recordings for this.
London Symphony, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just so massive, which you almost need for the feel of this film.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that gets me every single time is the color palette of this movie. Like, you could almost freeze frame any spot and you have a gorgeous color palette. I love all the bold jewel tones that are in there. There's so many scenes that are just yellows, orange, reds, purples, deep blues. And like even the dark scenes, when you get the fire in there, you still get those bold shades in with the shadows and everything. It is a gorgeous film as far as a color palette goes.
I like the first song, which I guess is the Bells of
Bells of Notre Dame.
the
Yeah.
visuals in that one too, when he's looking up at all the statues looking down at him, just feeling the eyes
Yep.
of God on you.
Yeah.
It scared
And
him
that
so
that part
much.
hits me because it's David Ogden Stiers that is singing in it as the deacon. He was already a staple at Disney between being Cogsworth and Ratcliffe and Wiggins in Pocahontas. They had him come in and do the part of the deacon because he was already in the studio doing some follow-up stuff for Pocahontas. And they're like, hey, will you do this too? He's like, yeah.
Sorry.
I love the name Ratcliffe. I'm sorry it threw me off.
Governor Ratcliffe, yeah. Oh god, his role in Pocahontas is amazing. He did so good.
I have also never seen Pocahontas, for the record.
I haven't either. I know there's a
it's a good movie. There's a reason it's one of the best movies.
A raccoon named Miko, and frankly, that's good enough for me. That's really all I need.
Yeah, Miko is fabulous.
This movie felt very different to me than any other Disney film I've seen. I think because of the serious subject material and the time period and all that stuff, the architecture, etc., etc. It felt so much more darker and grim.
Yes.
Just, it felt more drenched in reality than a Disney film normally does, which is what made the little statues singing and dancing weirder for me, because everything else felt so realistic.
They gotta have their humor elements, though. That's what the sidekicks are always for. It's for
I get
that
it, because it's
mode.
Disney. Yeah, it's Disney. We said it before.
As you said before, toys.
That's the big one too, yes. But everything other than that feels extremely serious. And it's backed up by a very serious looking and sounding film. Feels very, I know it's Disney, so it's professional, but it feels like on a different level. It's not as infinitely quotable or anything, but I really thought that it felt different from other Disney stuff that I had seen.
It's a little heavier.
It's much heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And part of that, the subject matter and the villain and stuff, but the film producer Don Hahn, he had stated that they very much inspired Frollo off of Ralph Fiennes' performance in Schindler's List.
Oh,
I could see that.
And they got to yell
I was just going to say
Frollo.
I was just going to say the subject material in general. It's not a one-to-one obvious translation of Hugo's novel, but and again, a lot of other Disney stuff pulls from classic literature and such. Aladdin is from the 1001 Arabian Nights, but a lot of that stuff is not as deep and dark as something like The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is almost like Disney doing the Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah,
like Jungle Book is a really dark story, and they're like,
sure,
don't do anything that's in the book, just take the basic.
Right, they completely took away from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Fox and the Hound. They took out a lot of the dark stuff from it.
Yeah, Little Mermaid, of course, is a fairy tale. They did the less dark version of that, but it's already that kind of a story. Yeah, this was the first time they took a fairly heavy novel as it was, and then we're really not going to change all that much other than, again, fun, wacky sidekicks, update the language, and change the ending enough that we don't, end on a downer note.
I don't know if Shannon actually heard it because he was making a comment at the time, but when Phoebus is heading to the Palace of Justice, and he says Achilles, heel.
Yeah, boy,
They named the horse Achilles because they thought it was funny to hear him say
so he could do
Achilles
that
heel.
bit. Yeah.
Well, then he sat on that guy, and I'm pretty sure that guy's head went up his ass because you could hear the echo. So he anal faced that horse.
Okay. Well,
and I just think that's wrong.
Hang on.
I just think that's wrong. All right. Let's get to the reviews. We talked a lot about the film. Let's talk about the other things periodically and sporadically amongst ourselves intentionally. On this show, we follow a 5-point system inspired by the greats, of course. 2 thumbs up, you love it. 1 thumb up, you like it. 1 up, 1 down, you're neutral or indifferent. Explain yourself. And 1 down, you don't like it. 2 down, you absolutely hate it. The last double down on the list, of course, was Alien Resurrection, a truly horrendous film. And the last double up was Godzilla -1. Will this film be the first double up of Animation April, or will it go the way of Frollo, just into the fire and dead? No one cares. Let's find out. Lindsay, let's start with you as the guest.
I've already said a whole bunch, but yeah, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. And I think when I first originally saw this film, I probably would have only given it 1, but I have such an appreciation for the art of this film, if nothing else, that it bumps it up, even if there are some loose story ends that might not flow as well. But just the stories of acceptance, being kind to everybody, and again, the art direction and music play a massive role for me in this film. For as much CG is in this film, a lot of it was still most of it was still hand drawn, like in the God Help the Outcast number, when you're seeing just the shadows of the different church patrons going through. All of those are hand animated. None of that part was done with CG. The only part in the church that was done in CG is the bells and the stained glass window, the big rose circle one that Esmeralda stands in the middle of. That was done with CG, but everything else in there was like completely hand done. And it's such a massive film. And then learning after the fact that most of their major animation players weren't even really on this film. They were still split between Lion King and Pocahontas, finishing stuff up and then moving on to Hercules. They did a lot of freelance artists got hired in between Canada, London, and the United States. They just brought in a few extra people that weren't their usuals to work on this. And it's just an amazing looking movie. And I enjoy it every single time I put it on.
All right. Well, she's really said it all. Good luck following that up. I think
You have to.
Is it me this week?
I think it's your turn.
Okay.
It is.
I'll get it out of the way now and give it a 1 thumb up. I'll say that ahead of time. I don't think it was, for me, it wasn't good enough to be 2 thumbs up because there were some things that I was kind of questionable on. Mostly, maybe it's just personal preference, but I kept thinking, keep the goat. That's fine. There's your cute character that you could sell dolls of. Maybe give him a little bit bigger of a part and get rid of the statues. As much as I love Jason Alexander in it, and the guy from Murphy Brown, and I forget the third person, but they're there too. I just wish they weren't in the film. I just wish it was him, and it would add just a little bit more seriousness to it. And it didn't feel like it was such a big, like, it felt not shoehorned in because it's not that bad, but I just didn't care for it. I think the goat could have been that character, that and his horse. Give me more of both of them. It is a beautiful film visually. I genuinely think this might be my favorite looking Disney film I've ever seen. It's not flashy and cool. Like, again, I go back to The Princess and the Frog a lot because I really like that movie. But as someone that loves stuff like Dark Souls and Gothic architecture and France, this movie was a real treat. Everything looks so great. The characters were great. The animation was great. I just really loved the look of it. The songs were good. There was nothing other than like the first song. I don't remember the Out There song. I might have to listen to that one again, but I remember the first one for sure.
It's the first thing Quasimodo sings.
You were asking a bunch of questions when it was going on.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Right after the build up.
It's so good.
But I mean, I like the first song quite a bit, and the rest of the songs were fine. I don't think there's as many, like, they sounded great, but they weren't as catchy. Like, it's not a Let It Go type scenario where it's something you're going to hear on car radios.
It's not an earworm,
right? But they are like very impressive. The tone of the songs fit the movie overall. Like, it was kind of dark. It had a very like the choir feel to it. Every song felt epic because this movie felt epic on scale. The characters were great. I liked it a lot, but it's just not quite enough for it to put me at 2 thumbs up. But it was a treat in a lot of ways. So that's where I'm going to stay, and I'm not going to explain it any further. You just got to trust me on this. I'm going to get a Pepsi. Hunter.
It's right behind you. I am also going to go 2 thumbs up. I'm going with Lindsay on this one. This is one of my favorite animated movies I've seen in a long time. I'd never seen this movie before today. I did not have a lot of expectations going into it, if I'm being honest. In my head, this movie was one of those came and went. Like, it didn't get a lot of attention. It wasn't that big a deal.
And it was.
And the thing is, I realized that was the perspective, but I had forgotten since I had done the notes, looking back at them, that it was really well received. That again, Roger Ebert loved it, audiences seemed to love it, critics seemed to love it. I in my head, that wasn't what happened. Again, this movie came out when I was 11. Technically, I should have been in the target audience, but for whatever reason, I missed this thing completely. I was not a thing that I jumped on in any way. So didn't see it then, hadn't seen it since. Kind of vaguely knew what I was getting into because I'm aware of the novel. I've never read it, but I know, roughly what happens and how it goes. But I was pleasantly surprised. Are the psychic characters a little bit much? Sure. Not enough to bump me to make me think that it was worth, arguing over it. Same goes for, is it very similar in a lot of ways to me to Aladdin? Because that's always going to be my Disney touchstone. Aladdin was the movie that I grew up with from them, that I loved, that I still love. And I do feel like a lot of the plot beats are kind of similar. But again, it's still following the Hugo novel. It's just that it's easy to draw comparisons when you have a similar villain and a similar, plucky female heroine type character. But the theming of it's incredible. Right, we're not getting this kind of thing anywhere else from Disney. Everything else Disney is do what you got to do to get the person that you belong to be with, and it's kind of nice again in the end that Quasimodo's whole thing is that he has to learn to be loved. He's got to learn to be accepted by other people and to go out and do that first. He hasn't had a life. You can't jump straight from being locked up in a tower somewhere straight into a relationship with the first person that you meet. He's literally the first person that he meets. And that's one of the things that we've been critical, or at least I've been critical about some of these movies about in the past. You meet this person the first time and suddenly that's all it is. It's the whole world. It's nice that in the end, even he recognizes, no, I made a bad decision here. This wasn't the way I should go about this. I need to go be a person first before I can make that kind of a judgment. I love the music in this. It might not be as earwormy as a lot of others. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I've seen Aladdin over 100 times probably at this point. So of course that music's a lot catchier and a lot more stuck in my head. But that I missed that song that out there again will haunt me now that I'm aware of it. I also really, really just loved anything, and I can't think of his name, Clopin, I think, the jester type guy.
I love the Court of Miracles.
Everything he does is funny. It sounds good. Like, I enjoyed that character a lot more than I thought I was going to when he first popped up, because I was like, this feels kind of like Genie-esque. Like, even the opening is kind of him doing the Genie in disguise, like, oh, let me tell you about but that's not really what he was. He's a good character to keep the story moving along. I like every song that he's in. Hellfire is an incredible song. Well, it's not going to be catchy tune-wise. Oh, the theming of that, of Frollo just literally blaming everyone but him for his own problems. This is a guy who claims to be as pious as he can possibly be, and then he turns right around and commits every cardinal sin in the same song. He lusts for this woman. He blames her for his problems. He claims he'll burn everything down if he can't have her. I mean, it's just bit by bit by bit. It's so good. I'm really, this is going to sound weird in the wake of all of that. I am not sad that I missed this movie when I was a kid. I do not think I would have liked it or even appreciated it when I was younger and understood what was going on here. And if there is a fatal flaw, I think, to me in that sense of things, it's that it doesn't feel like it's made for kids. It very much feels like, this movie was much more for the parents than it was for a younger audience. And in that way, you probably could have gotten away with a darker ending if you really wanted to. Disney clearly didn't want that. If they wanted that, you could have just gone with the novel ending and called it good. And there's probably a version out there of this that exists to some degree, some alternate universe where Disney went, we're going to start making these for other people. Well, I'm talking animated, though, like an animated version of it. But I mean, by the time it was over, not only had I been moved to tears more than once, which fucking got me. I didn't see that coming, because nothing else we've watched has done that for me so far, by the way. I like Ferngully, but it didn't get me in the way that it got you. This was the inverse of that. This movie managed to do that. When Esmeralda goes up to save him the first time, when he's tied down and all the people are throwing shit at him, and she has that back and forth with Frollo, and she says that about justice not being served. Oh, just forget about it. I'm done. Yes.
Genuine question. I must have got lost during that part, because why did they all of a sudden tie him down and start throwing things at him?
Because he was the fool. With him.
Right, the guard started it basically because that was the whole thing, is that he's he's king of the fools, and so they've already crowned him, so he thinks this is a good thing. Oh, we were looking for the ugliest person possible, and hey, at least they're celebrating him in some way. And as soon as the guards take that as an opportunity to make fun of him, so does everyone else, because he starts freaking out and acting kind of bizarre about it.
So the jester didn't have anything to do with it. The Court of Miracles,
No.
because he started the whole.
No.
He started the whole,
No,
bringing
he
about
picked him.
singing, right? But
Right.
I guess
Yeah.
I was worried that he had him, like he was part of that part, and I was like, oh, I hope not.
No.
Okay.
No,
good.
he's just kind of the master of ceremonies.
Right.
On
Well,
that
he's
type of
a
stuff.
fun and crazy guy. He was very fun.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah, I was looking back at it now just to see exactly what she said, and it was when she first goes up and cuts him loose, and he says, how dare you define me? She says, you mistreat this poor boy the same way that you mistreat my people. You speak of justice, yet you are cruel to those most in need of your help. And that's afterward when he says you'll pay for this insolence. And, it appears then that we've crowned the wrong fool, because the only fool that I see is you. Demi Moore sells that whole bit so well, just incredibly well.
I feel like she is a much more interesting character. Not comparing to Aladdin, but we make comparisons to Aladdin. I thought she was way more interesting than Jasmine. She got more to do. She got way more to do.
Well, yeah, she gets more to do. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
And Jasmine doesn't come in until significantly later. She's never treated as the heroine until late in the game.
Right.
One good thing about her, and that we talked about this when we reviewed that movie, is that she's not the first, but you can see the evolution of the Disney heroine with her, because at the very least, she's allowed to be smart enough to see that things are going not the way that they should be. She sees through his disguise. She tricks him into giving it up, and then later tricks, Jafar into losing that whole fight too. So, but yeah, with Esmeralda, I mean, she's very clearly treated as a main character alongside the other. She's a standard protagonist instead of like a kind of second tier protagonist.
And I
loved it.
I told Lindsay this too when we were watching it, that I get the Aladdin comparison. I get that. I also thought that, and this came first before this film, but the whole him in the tower with Frollo felt so much like Tangled, with her up Rapunzel in the tower.
The kind of gaslighting. And
and I'm the only one that cares about you and that kind of thing. Yeah. So just shows you the inspiration that one goes to the next. From Aladdin to this, from this to that. Disney, when they're at the top of their game, legitimately, I mean, they put out the best stuff. I mean, it's awe-inspiring stuff when they're on point.
Wait, I'm confused. Zach said he knew what was going to happen. Let's be real, though. Who knew what was going to happen about what?
I think he's...
When did that...
I think he's saying that the jester knew what they were going to do to him.
I don't think so. I mean, he brought him up there and crowned him, and he kind of left. It was only when the guards
he says
started...
It later. We find you completely innocent, which is the worst crime of all.
Yeah, like those guys kind of do their own thing there. Yeah, I don't think he knew that situation was going to happen to him. I disagree. I don't think so.
How long have they lived there?
How long had who lived there?
The Romani people.
It's supposed to basically be 20.
Because the
movie's supposed to take place over 20 years, but.
Well, what I mean is that they're held up in that whole Court of Miracles, in the catacombs. I just wondered how long they had been in that city.
Been in that space. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, technically, that's where Quasimodo's mom was at, because Frollo talks about trying to find the Court of Miracles to exterminate the vermin, and that he's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought
that. Because I also read somewhere it's supposed to take place in, 1482, and then it jumps to 1502. Is that my math right there? 20 years?
It would be,
I don't know. At first, I wondered if it was one of those things where they just kind of went into town, from town to town, travelers, nomads, and
that's kind of what they did back then. That's part of why they.
Yeah, they're nomadic people. The novel takes place in 1482, and so if it's 20 years after, okay, hang on. It says it's set in 1482, so I wonder if that's when the actual novel's taking place, and so he would have been born in 62.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. It's best I can tell here. The movie's not meant to be set in any different time. So yeah, late 1400s, basically, in the 15th century.
Let's get to the ending. Violating the tradition of sanctuary, Frollo pursues Quasimodo and Esmeralda to the bell tower with the intent of killing them. Kill refined monkey PQO. Well, damn, Zach's already on it. It's a good man. He and Quasimodo fight, eventually both falling from a ledge. Frollo plummets to his death in the molten lead, while Quasimodo is saved by Phoebus. So I got tongue-tied there for a second because I wanted to mention it, but I wanted to get that sentence out first. The whole end scene where he gets on the statue and could have let it go and instead pulled the knife out and went to go kill her anyway because he was so obsessed with it. And then when he fell and the thing turned into... I mean, in his mind, even if you don't take it literally... He was so scared of the statues in the beginning, you could just see that fear in him of, oh my God, it's right in my face and the death. What an epic death. I mean, it was just an absolutely incredible moment.
And that one, I think you could argue, is open to interpretation. Did that really happen, or did that only happen in his mind? Because again, at this point, we've seen that some of them can come alive. We don't know if that's true for all of them, but it could also just be that, like you said, there was that premonition of, oh, something real bad's about to happen.
He knew he was about to die.
And on top of that, actually, this works really well. On top of that, we know that, I was literally just talking about this with the song Hellfire, that Frollo blames everyone but himself for every bad thing that happens to him. So rather than, I made a mistake by standing on a statue and trying to do a death, trying to do a murder, instead of trying to save myself, what I did instead was do a stupid thing. And instead, his brain decides in the last second, no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. The gargoyle killed you.
It turned you into a creature.
Like, that's pretty good, man.
Justifying his
I don't know if
thing
that's what they were going for, but that's pretty good.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous scene. And they actually got me when Esmeralda, when he starts crying over her. I thought she was dead. Like, I really thought she was gone.
I only knew she wasn't because I had done the notes in advance. But yeah, he's incredible in that. And even as it was happening, I looked at Sarah and I was like, are you fucking kidding me with this?
Right.
Like, this is... I'd be heartbroken if I'm a kid in the theater watching this movie.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the more I go, man, goddamn good thing they had those little gargoyles in there, or those kids would have just been crying through most of the film.
Right. They were crying.
Quasimodo accepts Phoebus and Esmeralda's love and gives them his blessing, which is a sweet moment. They encourage him to leave the cathedral, where the people of Paris hail him as a hero. So, that was the film. That is the ending we got. We kind of talked about it a second ago, but we never really said the whole thing. But you want to read that one? Just kind of fill them in on the little details we didn't talk about, when the difference in the novel ending versus
ending?
Yeah.
So the novel ending, Quasimodo would be stabbed by Frollo before Esmeralda comes back to life, basically regains consciousness and tries to save him. She kills Frollo herself. Phoebus then meets up with them, and Quasimodo basically says his last wish is to ring the bells one more time. So they help him up to the bells as he's dying. The final shot then is the two of them, Esmeralda and Phoebus, crying over their best friend. Like, literally, he has brought them together as the people of Paris are cheering because the bells are ringing. They are successful. This whole thing is done. Of course, they don't know that Quasimodo is dead at that time, and this is this really poignant ending. And again, it's great for the novel. It's not good for a Disney movie. Let's just call it what it is.
No,
like,
it
is a great ending, but not there. Again, it comes from the trivia. This is just from IMDb, but they said that, a lot of hardcore fans of the novel even agree the film's ending is more suitable for the theme itself. And, to be fair, while it is a nice poignant ending, if the theme is supposed to be about acceptance of oneself and about recognizing that, the world is not against you, coming out and being your own person, you can't do that if that guy dies.
Yes, so, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I get the theme, I get all of these things, and the ending gives us the basics that now Quasimodo is going to be accepted by these people, or at least be able to interact with them, worry-free. Right. And then I thought, well, there's no way they made a sequel, and you guys mentioned a sequel. Did it happen?
Yeah.
Was he accepted and everything was great? Because it sounds like it was a good film.
I mean, he gets a love interest in the second one.
That's the problem. There's the problem.
Oh.
It's not what you're thinking. It's not that they didn't accept him. They went too hard the other direction. They went, well, we can't have the hero not get the girl, so let's make a whole other movie where that happens. You won't believe who plays the girl, by the way.
I have to know.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
and the original voice cast all came back. They only added 3 new characters.
All of them back.
Wait, so like
Demi Moore, Kevin Kline, yes. All of the, other than Tony J, but again, Furlough's dead, so. Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was
Jason
that
Alexander, all of them.
Was that direct to DVD?
Yeah, 2002.
VHS, but
Man,
I think it was DVD. It was 2002.
Was it DVD?
Yeah,
that's huge.
That was the era where I was starting to get disappointed in things.
Yeah, but that's huge.
And I've actually never watched the sequel.
It's real bad, man.
Oh,
we watched a trailer for it.
Most of them are.
Right.
Most of them are atrocious.
So if you pull it up on Disney Plus, they give you the opportunity to watch the trailer. This is not a trailer. It's literally, because there's no trailer for this movie, I guess.
Yeah,
or if there was, it's lost in time. So they just put like a clip of it on there. And it's clearly one of those things where it's like Return of Jafar. So clearly it looks like it was animated for TV. Like the animation's bad. Even though they got the whole voice cast back, Esmeralda shows up in that little clip and it does not sound like Demi Moore. Like she sounds like she has a cold. It's weird, man. Yeah, it's rough. The story, and I'm going to try to summarize this without looking it up as best I can from what I remember. The plot is basically, it's years later, Esmeralda and Phoebus are married and they have a son named Zephyr, who, by the way, is played by Haley Joel Osment.
Damn.
Yeah, and Zephyr is like, the 3 of them are all still, like a group. Quasimodo's still friends with him. They're still friends with him. And he is really good friends with their son. Like, he's really good with kids, which you see, that, to be fair, that follows up from the end of the previous one. The girl that comes up and kind of is the first one to accept him. The plot is that this, like, Cirque du Soleil type group comes to France and Notre Dame, like, to wherever they are.
Circus, yeah.
And they're actually thieves, so they're not just like a circuit group. They're a circus group. They're thieves, and they're plotting to steal one of the bells, like the big bell, the main bell or whatever that has like jewels and shit on it.
Yeah.
And so they send in this girl who's like a high wire act or whatever to basically like trick Quasimodo into thinking that she's in love with him, so they can use that to steal the bell somehow. But you know how that old chestnut goes. She actually does fall in love with him.
Damn the luck.
And so then it's that back and forth thing of like, she has to, because he eventually finds out that she's part of the troupe, and they have to, they find out that she's actually in love with him, and it's a whole back and forth. Anyway, in the end, it's a Disney movie. They end up together. They save the bell. It's whatever. But the whole thing feels like Quasimodo didn't get the girl in the first one, so we got to go back and do that right, because it's a Disney movie. He can't not get the girl. It's super corny. It's apparently not super well written. I did see when I was reading the plot description, there's one point in time where Phoebus figures it out. He's the first one to, because he's still like captain of the guard. He figures it out. He's like, no, she's part of this group and they're thieves and this is all bad. And Esmeralda, his wife, accuses him of being racist toward Romani people, because I think they are Romani. And it's like, you have this lingering like hatred, or I don't know what the line is, because it was just from the description. I'm like, damn, that's cold as ice. Yeah. He's married to you. What part of you thinks that that's the thing? And of course he ends up being right. Like, they are fucking thieves and they are trying to steal shit. It's really weird, man. It was a weird decision to make a sequel to this.
So what should have been the sequel, or no sequel at all? Let's get into the epilogues of it. Double H, what would you do?
I mean, look, I don't hate the idea that because it is a Disney movie, Esmeralda and Phoebus stay together. They work for change in France. They make things better so that, because I mean, legitimately, man, I got to look into this. The whole history of the Romani people in France is not great. This is a real deal in the real world. That actually did happen, and it is still happening. When I was looking up articles about Romani in France, like as of 2010, there were articles about them being deported en masse simply because of who they were. Like, that was still happening. So the Disney-fied version of it nicely is that shit doesn't happen, right? Like, the two of them work together to spread change throughout the country and to make people more accepting of them. Quasimodo again just goes out and lives a life like that. I don't think there needs to be a sequel to this because Disney movies are very happily ever after. We don't need to necessarily follow up on it. Plus, this is not a thing where like it's not like an Aladdin and a genie. Like we're an adventuring crew. We're going to go out in the world and do more things. It's more just like we had a really bad time in life here that we got through. This was our story. We survived it and we go on and live our lives. I think the happiest thing that happens for him is not like focusing on does he get married? Does he have kids? Whatever. It's just that he gets to go be a person for the first time. He's not less of a person because he looks different. Yeah. And he's already learned that and people are starting to learn that about him. Exactly. He can continue to ring the bells because he loves to do that while also being part of like the church services and doing whatever it is he wants to do. By the way, the nicest depiction you've ever seen of true Catholics, the Archdiocese constantly forcing Frollo out and being like, get the fuck out of my church, man. This is not your place to be. You know how we do things. F off. Like,
I assumed that the woman he would marry at some point, I thought he would meet one in this movie, would just be blind. And like, oh, she can't see him, but she loves him, and that's the
they
thing.
did that in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Alicia Masters.
Yeah, just work that into it. It'd be more believable.
I think
if
it was,
Love Hewitt.
I think if it was not a Disney movie, they might have done that. Like you might have seen a version of that if it was a more like adult version of it. It's still terrible, but
Yeah, no, it's a bad idea every time.
Name?
Kind of offensive. You talking about from Fantastic Four?
I can't remember this character's. No. That's Alicia Masters. I know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Madeline. I got to see this character because I didn't actually get to see the character. Oh boy. Well, look. Let me save you some trouble.
Yeah.
Fuck. Here's a screenshot that just shows the two of them together. I'm gonna drop it in the general. It's not that kid from that AI picture you posted.
Well, that wasn't AI.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
That's the two of them. Yeah.
She looks like a Romani thief.
Yeah, and by that you mean blonde and not even remotely.
She looks like Meg Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, none of this looks like any of what they were going for.
That's pretty bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I was hoping
Here's a screenshot. This is a screen grab from somebody's video from YouTube, so you can see kind of what it looked like on TV. Does that not reek of the Disney afternoon to you?
Oh God, yeah, very much so. Oh my God, she looks like a
most of those
commercial.
direct-to-video productions were done by Toon Disney.
Yeah, they had their in-house crew doing it. I remember you talking about that.
They call it cheap-ass Disney.
So yeah, I mean, if somebody else has got a pitch for a legitimate, story and all that, go nuts. I think this is very much a, happily ever after type thing that they all get their happy days.
I mean, I like the idea of Quasimodo taking a road trip, him maybe traveling, walking the path, meeting people, and just kind of experiencing the world. I think that could be fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to
and that's basically the same idea.
Yeah, you don't have to put a love interest in there or anything. Like he can just
Sure.
He can be the watcher of people's lives because he's learning about people for the first time.
Yeah, more than just like literally watching them from a tower. He gets to actually go out and experience the world.
And of course,
people.
He comes across the shitty people, the people that might look at him and hide their kid, but he comes across good people who accept him. I think got a great opportunity there. Or
I want him to see. I want the goat to go with him, and it's just that scene of Charlie and Dennis in the U-Haul when they're going on the road trip, where Quasimodo's like, "Hey, nobody's gonna be a dick to me, are they?" And the goat's like, "There's probably gonna be a couple dicks out there." We're like, "I got your back, man. Like, be all right. Be a couple dicks."
I think the goat should talk now. I think the goat got talking. Goat could talk the whole time. He just didn't. He wasn't.
He didn't want to. He just didn't feel like it.
He had nothing to say.
I know we're laughing, but you were talking about. I was thinking back to talking about the 3D animated sequences, and then also just like the way that Quasimodo gets around. I meant to mention this in the review, but I kind of got sidetracked for a second. The fucking scene of him swinging down and saving her, and then literally holding her over his head and shouting "Sanctuary" from the top of the church. Oh, get out of here! That's so good.
And then
they did an amazing use with the multiplane camera and the CG effects on it. That you just get those
very good
sweeping shots with the depth of field and everything. Yeah, no, that was gorgeous.
And then Ice broke down the door anyway, and they were going to go in.
And then locked him in and set it on fire.
And Donald Trump is a doctor. All right. Well, yes. Lindsay, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I got most of the stuff in there as far as that goes. Again, this film is gorgeous.
It was a very good film,
and
sir.
I'm glad you both enjoyed it.
Yes.
I did. Very
Although
much so.
Phoebus had a stupid haircut.
Yes, he did, but that's fine.
It's 1482 France, man. What do you want from him? He's probably cutting it with a sword.
Well, he probably has the horse eat it. He eats it off the front of his face. Choose
He's
it.
his Achilles heel.
Yeah. Oh, dear God.
We'll end this with stupid trivia. Supposedly, Frollo's horse is named Snowball.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. It was just random trivia.
Is
I
it like
came
a
across.
sexual thing?
I don't know.
Because of his
like-
repression?
It's one of those
He
things
doesn't
that
want
you
him to
can't,
shoot his horse.
you can't like prove or not prove. One of my favorite versions of that is when people talk about, if you look through the Harry Potter books, it never says that Dumbledore's not on rollerblades. So maybe he was the whole fucking time. Like, you didn't know. You didn't know. He was just whizzing around.
Whizzing around. Just,
Bebopping and scatting all over the castle.
well, he was old. Sometimes these things happen. He should start wearing diapers like Donald Trump does. His own Dr. Jesus brand. Signed. When your feces
Well, now I
fills
gotta
the
go change the
diaper,
name to
Donald Trump's
Dr.
name appears.
Jesus brand diaper.
I'd love to see that picture with Donald Trump as Jesus. Oh.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight on Extras and Epilogues. We will be back tomorrow with another one where we talk about Anastasia. Until
With
then,
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Wait, is it Malkovich? Or is it
No.
Christopher Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Okay,
I'd
that's
rather
who I was
be
thinking.
John
of.
Malkovich.
No, Christopher Lloyd's great.
They're
John
both
Malkovich
great.
would be interesting though.
Yes.
Anastasia, I can't do a fucking Malkovich,
You
man.
have to
I got
talk-
no Malkovich one.
You have to talk. Well, I had it a second ago. Now it's gone. All right.
See, yeah. Stop, Charlie. This is
that a
not
British
long
accent?
enough. I don't want to talk about it. Let's move past it. Let's move past it.
That's tomorrow. Until then, balconies closed. Hang out with us in the chat. We'll be here for a little bit longer. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Double H, take us out.
I'm free. I'm free. Dang it.